Sunday. Tonight we're going to cover a topic which is 5 things to check before you buy your home. I do get asked often enough with people that are coming into the market, not only first home buyers but people that are probably mightn't have bought a house in a while. So I thought it'd be ideal to cover these 5 topics or 5 points tonight. And then at the end, I've just got a little bit of a touching subject I want to touch on a little bit with regards to what I'm seeing more and more in 2017 in the real estate market, which I haven't seen in the last few years. So I just want to touch on that at the end. So stay tuned. Remember, if you do, if you do find this useful, please feel free to tag friends in it and share it. Because look, I love getting the advice out there, and I'm asking for nothing in return. But yeah, if you know someone that might need this advice, please tag them in it, or share it on your Facebook page. The first one that we'll cover is your budget. So I'd advise you before going to look for a home is know your budget and try and stick to it. Go and talk to a mortgage broker, banks, any lending institution, who you choose, and make sure you got trust in that person and be honest with them with regards to what they're what they're offering, and be honest with them with regards to your monthly costs and what's to have you, so they know exactly if you're financially viable to be able to purchase that house for $700,000 or $800,000. And you can service that loan. So we have spoke about that a few months ago. So that's number one tip, is know your budget. Make sure you get that in place. Make sure you get the right people and get the right advice around your finance to be able to complete the deal. There's not too many people out there with to pay cash for a whole property. So I'm probably speaking to 99% of the viewers out there tonight. The second thing is a big one. Before you go jumping in, educate yourself on the market. I'll tell you a little story. When I first started buying property, which was back in 2000, so 17 years ago now, I used to go around during the day, and I was playing footy at the time, so I sort of had a bit of free time on my hands. And look, back then realestate.com was in its infancy, so you'd have to go around and see sold signs or for sale signs that had been up for a while, sold signs that were newly up, so you get a sort of understanding. And I managed to make a pretty big spreadsheet. Now I know that might be going to an extreme, but I made a really good spreadsheet of sales, and I actually tried to find that spreadsheet not too long ago at my parents' place, and I did actually uncover it. And it's funny, the prices back then, they were ranging from about 180,000 to up to 335,000 for a house in Paddington. So that was in my budget there. So look, run a spreadsheet of the properties that have sold. It's not for sale. Run a spreadsheet for the properties that are sold. Study the market, so study the suburbs that you want to buy in, and just know it. Attend open houses, attend auctions. It's the best way to educate yourself before jumping in, to know that you're paying the right price for the property. If you go and jump in the first week, that's great, but you've probably been keeping a little bit of an eye on it. With tying into that, don't rely on the media. People rely on it so much, and I talk to various journalists around the place, and you open up the newspaper, there's a positive story one day, negative story the next. Same with the news, that's on at night. So don't just rely what you read. Do your own homework. Make sure you get in there and get out, in the battlefields, and go to the open homes, go to the auctions, track properties, get to look and see what they're like, and then see what they sell for. Just because an owner's asking for a certain amount for a property doesn't mean it's at that price. Just educate yourself with what else is sold. So when you do take the plunge, you can take it with confidence. And you can move forward from there. So education is the key, and I dare say if you do that, you'll probably have more knowledge than probably 90% of the agents in the marketplace, because if you're going through lots of different agent stock, they won't have that. They won't be doing that themselves. So you'll be very highly educated in making your decision and moving forward with the purchase of your property. The third one would be set out your property goal. Like, why are you buying this property? Is it for, a short-term renovation and sell it within 12 months, like, some of the builders I deal with, and, Rob from Grey Construction, they do that, or Grey Development, sorry, Rob, Grey Construction does the building side, but the Grey Development side, they've got a plan in place of the houses, and we know exactly when all the houses of theirs are coming on the market. So, we only had a meeting on Friday night about a couple more, so we know exactly when they're coming out. But what are your property goals? Is it to buy and flick in a short period of time, or is it to buy over a long period of time and build a portfolio up of smaller properties you can add value, use the equity to, and go into a property portfolio? So work out your property goal. That's the third thing I'd do before jumping in to buy a property. Why are you buying the property? Fourth thing is to work out all the associated costs with buying the property. So work out, how much your RINs are, your stamp duty. Is it going to cost you money to do some work to the property to make it rentable or livable? Any value adds if you want to do the kitchen and bathroom, and that could be a personal choice. And any other associated costs and moving, conveyancing. They're not large ticket items and large costs, but they are costs nonetheless, and they're costs that you should make yourself aware of. So look, that's number 4 tip. And number 5 would be, once you've found that home, research the house and make sure you know exactly what you're buying. So you've done all the research, you've looked around, you've looked at all the other properties in the area, you've found the one for you. Make sure you just look at that property in particular, study it up and down. You might have grand plans to put a pool in the corner, and then all of a sudden find out there's a massive big, sewer line or pipe in the corner, so that you can't do that in the end. So that would be my number 5 tip. It would be mainly to make sure that you know what you're getting into, you know what you're buying, you've done your building and pest, or the building and pest is being presented to you. So make sure you know what you're buying. There's various things that can pop up too. Sometimes there's neighbourhood disputes, as far as trees go. So make sure that you're not getting yourself into a legal battle as well. So that's my number 5 tip. Now guys, look, there's something that's happening in real estate in 2017. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a drink of water. There's a thing that's happening in 2017. I didn't notice it as much last year. But real estate is basically, it's a contact sport. And what we're moving into is a high-tech, low-touch community of people. I'm finding it a lot lately. I'm getting text messages or emails without a phone number, with regards to a property. I was sitting on the couch last night at 9:14 p.m, got an email, didn't have a phone number, wanted a lot of information about the property, and to please contact them ASAP. I replied to the email and said, I'm fine to take a phone call now, last night, Saturday night. Please call me as soon as possible. Never replied. So what I'm noticing too throughout the day is I'm getting text messages from people just with regard saying, hey Ben, contacting me about, Smith Street, whatever property it is. So pick up the phone, and that's going to go a long way to being able to engage in the property and engage in a negotiation. You can't sit there and negotiate behind a keyboard. We're in a people's game. It's not necessarily about selling real estate. Whenever I get an offer on a property, I take it to the owner and present it to them. And the same is when someone puts an offer in. You want to sit down with them, you want to run through the contract, run through the conditions, make sure both sides know. I'm just seeing it more and more in the real estate game in 2017. People using Messenger, email, and I've learnt lately, it's not about iPhone, iMessage, really all these things, and Instagram and Instagram Messenger. Like, I'm getting messages sent on properties through Instagram. Go and eyeball them, make a phone call, go and see the property, and make sure that you engage the agent or whoever's selling the property. And you're going to get a lot better result, and you're going to find out a lot more about the marketplace than just sending a text message and hiding behind a screen. So, and I don't know whether that's the way that society's moving, and it might be a little bit of a rant that I'm going on tonight, but I'm just noticing it more and more, and, some of these messages are coming through, or emails are coming through, and they don't even have names on them. So, we do reply to them, but, are they really going to get a result, and how serious are you? Any property I've bought over the years, and all the properties I've bought, I've totally engaged with the agent selling the property, and, and that's how the negotiation started, and, I've negotiated with the builders or the tradies when I've done, the work to the property. So, just make sure you pick up that phone and, and start the text messaging or the messaging. You're not going to get a really good result. I've had a few young people, that have messaged me about, property in general, and fair play. There's been a couple that have come into the office. I'm always up for it. I always give my time to, to someone that's wanting to get into the property market. I do get in flux with quite a few, so I try and spread them out a little bit. But, if you generally want to, have a question and, and it's in the area that I'm selling in, or, say it's in the south side of Brisbane where I don't sell, feel free, go and ask, hit up one of the agents in the area, ask them, take them for a coffee or something, and, and shout them a coffee and ask them about, what's going on, and if they've got a property that you might be interested in, or, getting into the market. I think you'll get a more positive response than just sitting behind and just texting or messaging. I think that's just, something that's just happening these days. And the other thing too is, guys, try and make it all happen. Again, I met another guy last week. He was young, 22, 23 years old. When I was that age, I was working 7 days a week to really make ends meet, to pay for those mortgages and grow that property portfolio. So if the lending's, something that you're having trouble with, make things work and really hustle and really, make, maybe even work 2 jobs, or, see if you can work some extra hours in the job that you're in to get yourself into the property market. So guys, there's a few tips on what to do, before you take that leap into buying your first home. I hope it helped. Next week, look, I get a lot of messages during the week. I'll probably pick one of the messages and whatever topic someone, or if there's a few people ask about one topic in particular, so send those messages through that you're sending through after, these Sunday night talks. And I'll pick a topic next week, and hopefully it'll help a few of you, and we'll have a few more questions being answered. I hope everyone has a good week, and stay safe. Thank you.